Marites. Please allow me to share my newfound knowledge with you, my fellow Marites. Yes, you are one of the Marites. Like I told me earlier, that when we speak, we use many parts of our bodies, including the lungs, vocal tract, vocal cords, tongue, teeth, and lips to make sounds and communicate information. At least one listener is generally required for this vocalized form of language. If it is between you and me, then it will be a dialogue. Also, this can be formal or informal, depending on the situation and the person you are talking to. And you can learn to speak and be more competent in your language skills if you learn and practice it. That's true. You can speak by yourself, or if you prefer, with an audience like this, or you can listen to someone too. Try to record your voice and have a discourse with whoever you want. If you want to do that, stay updated with our next Chika by Kamarites. Bye! Enjoy! You want more? I'll give you more. Yesterday, Miss Chara just shared some important information and I came to share this with all of you. According to her, a source from Google exposed an important piece of information to her and she went through the item. These are methodologies used for speaking skills. First, grammar translation. This is a method of analyzing written text and translating them into students' home language. The second one is the audiolingual method, which focuses on repetition rather than grammar explanations. Next one, the communicative approach, which is based on the theory of language acquisition that emphasizes language usage rather than grammar study. And the PPP, presentation, practice, and production, which uses pictures and focuses learning in a similar way to audiolingual. And the other one is the task-based, which is in this type of learning, a task is given to students to individually or in groups on a subject or topic that has not yet been discussed in the classroom or has been studied earlier in order to strengthen their understanding of the issue. And next, the engage, study, activate. This is a method of engaging learners in the learning process, a study that focuses on a particular aspect of the language. It is critical to achieve students' language skills by putting them in situations that are close to real life as possible. And the lexical approach. As grammar and vocabulary cannot be strictly separated, as is typically the case with traditional teaching techniques. Marites, I'll go ahead now and I'll see you next time. Bye! Manang, can you turn the TV on? I want to watch some news. Gossip Girl tagged you in a post. Oral language is essential for a learner's social and academic success. Here are some tips and approaches for helping students improve their speaking abilities. Never mind, Manang. Here's the news. So there are ways to improve children's oral skills. Gossip Girl tagged you in a post. Okay, let's see. Number 1, encourage conversation. Provide learners fresh opportunities for learners to practice, aid them in an engagement, and encourage them to talk actively. That makes a lot of sense. You've been tagged by Gossip Girl. Number 2, model syntactic structure. Provide students with a chance to practice the required skills for acquiring written language. Encourage them to employ complete oral syntax in a casual discourse to improve their oral language. There should be more time for learners and less time for teachers to talk. 80% of the time is for students to talk and 20% is for the teacher to speak. And equal participation should be encouraged. Any student should take part in achieving the learning objectives through motivation. Very informative. No one can guess this easy. Gossip Girl tagging. Questioning Students, before and after reading assignment, as well as other types of inquiries, may help them think about what they're reading and retain knowledge from the words. So one of the important things you should do to improve the speaking of students is to boost their comprehension through question. Who is this gossip girl? And why does she seem to know so much more about speaking than I am? I have to track down this gossip girl. Hello, Camarity. Your friend Marites is here again. So I have a free time again to share some tea with you. So yes, I am here, your one and only source for the truth. Did you miss me? As promised, here's my tea for you. Maringrella recently shared a story about what she has discovered about the 4 elements of speaking skills, and to my surprise, there are 4 of it. First, pronunciation. Second, grammar. Third, vocabulary. And fourth, fluency. First, pronunciation is a multifaceted skill that may be improved by mimicking a speaker and paying attention to rhythm, word, and sentence stress, intonation, and phrasing in order to create a clearer sounding voice. Second, grammar. It is the structure of the language which really matters to avoid misinterpretation or confusing messages because a sentence is systematically constructed. Next, vocabulary. It is the understanding of the meanings of words as well as how they are spelled and spoken in order to communicate effectively. The more words you know, the better your speaking ability. And lastly, fluency. It is the capacity to confidently talk in a particular language, communicatively, fluently, and accurately without interruption in order to deliver more fascinating and intelligent discourse. You have gained important learnings again. Oh, anyway, I need to go now. Bye. Oh, there you are. Are you waiting for me? My goodness, my palms are so stressed. Anyway, have you heard the most important issues about learning and enhancing speaking skills? So, this is it. Danielle, Florian, and Chico compare the speaking issues in students categorically. Okay, listen carefully. First, the lack of vocabulary. Children, learners, or students are unable to compose a sentence due to a lack of vocabulary. Another issue, speaking anxiety. Due to anxiousness, students' fear of making a mistake when speaking in English, and students' fear of being laughed at by their fears, students will forget what they meant to say. That's so sad. Another issue is lack of confidence. Because they think their English is poor, the students are afraid to talk and keep mute. Another issue is lack of motivation. Students lack of confidence due to lack of motivation, which make them reluctant to talk. Another, there is nothing to say because some students outperform and literally frightened others owing to their better ability. They were terrified of making mistakes and losing face in front of their teachers and classmates. Also, students keep using their L1 rather than speaking in English. They spoke in their own tongue. They struggled to express themselves in English, and they thought that speaking in their original tongue so that others can understand them. Others can understand them, which is, they think, is more safer. Another issue is interaction in the classroom. When students have difficulties in the language learning process, they are unwilling to share their experiences or seek help from the instructor due to a lack of efficient interaction between students and teachers. You know what? This is a serious problem. It prevents learners from becoming strong and competent speakers. Now, Camarity, I need to go now because this is really something. Hello, Marites. Yes, I am holding this because I am cooking. But I have time to share some tea. So listen to me. I am going to tell a secret or secrets, and I know you'll be happy to hear it. Wanya had just heard about the issues, so he decided to do something about it before it got out of hand, and he provided some tips on how to deal with learning problems in speaking skills. First, to get around this, he recommended finding an interesting book and reading it aloud. To see what has to be improved, you need to read, record, and listen to it. To check for errors, look up the term on YouTube or Google and see how it is pronounced. Second, read short stories that grabbed your interest on the internet. Make a list of the words that were used and learn them. Third, to overcome anxiety, work on your breath so you don't ramble or speak at a speed that your audience can't keep up with. Simply take a few deep, steady breaths. Final issue, motivation. In this part, it requires you to place yourself in a scenario where you are mindful that you are incorrect and then examine and reflect on it. So you need to encourage yourself. If you had a bad view of your English, attempt to overcome it by concentrating on what you can achieve rather than what you can't. And never make comparisons between your English abilities and those of others. You should learn in your own time and in your own way, rather than comparing things and expecting them to change. So concentrate solely on your own growth. Yes, our Mr. Wanya is extremely quick to respond to the problem, and he swiftly conducted research to educate us. Okay, Marty, I must go now because I have something to do. Bye. Dear artists, this author is glad to share my findings with you all in the hopes of inspiring someone to try on public speaking. And this is an exciting chica. This is what you get once you can speak efficiently. So listen very well. First, speaking builds confidence. You can significantly boost one's confidence, empower, share valuable insights and opinions to the world. Second, speaking enhances critical thinking skills. You can find out how to adjust your message to your audience needs. Number 3, speaking opens doors to career. You'll be able to speak up in meetings, promote your ideas, and portray yourself as a professional if you learn to understand what's going on in your head. Next, speaking is beneficial to our health because it allows us to express ourselves and articulate our emotions in a rational manner. And lastly, speaking makes us a better listener since we learn to say the words through effective listening. Just as you are, or some of you, I have always dreaded the long, boring, and monotonous days. That is until I spilled the tea. So I hope you're having fun learning with me, us. So this is my last tip for today. I really needed a break because I went through my sources' long script and sifted the most important details to provide valuable recap. That would be all. I hope your friend Marites served you a special cup of learnings. Remember to do this when you're having a cup of tea with someone. Learn from your community and listen very well to speak well. Good day and goodbye.